information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Moe's Guitars is the proud sponsor of Girls Talk Rock. Over 35 years of helping girls and guys rock. Moe's Guitars, M-O-Z-E, guitars.com.
Welcome to Girls Talk Rock, where the musician's creativity finds its voice. And here are your hosts, Tracy Smith and Beth Venus.
All right, Beth, I think we're here for another episode of Girls Talk Rock on WSRadio.com.
Here we are. We have tonight with us Rodney Elliot, and it's really exciting to have him here because he represents a trifecta of the business. But first, being today, December 2nd, we just want to do a shout-out and let everybody know we're thinking about everybody in San Bernardino. We've had somewhat of crisis here in California. We don't like it so close to home. And that we're thinking of those families in San Bernardino County right next to us. So
absolutely. I have friends up there, so I hope everybody's safe.
It's tough stuff, but we have today some good music stuff talking about Rodney Elliot, drummer, engineer, manager, Magnetron, Music Zirconia, musician. We're going to talk about it all. And, of course, we're going to talk about some of the controversy that comes with being with tribute bands, being a live musician, being an engineer, and working and trying to get the best artists you can to be part of your program. So
absolutely,
we're going to cover it all. You're going to love us.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, we're going into it now.
So what we're going to talk about first, which came first? Drummer, musician, being an engineer, wanting to be in admin. What came first?
Generically, drummer. And I say generically because so many drummers turn into sound engineers.
Yes, to make it right.
Exactly. It just kind of happens that way.
Excellent. So what was your background with that? Were you a kid? Were you in drumline in the high school? What was going on there?
Actually in choir.
Nice.
Yeah, we're generically going in a whole other direction. But yeah, my music growing up was from Detroit. And I think the biggest influence back in the 70s, because I'm old, was Kiss.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And, getting my first Mickey Mouse drum set and just beating on it and
having a
growing
good time.
into, playing stadiums.
Now, do you think your love for Kiss and that being part of your young person's experience, do you think that's what's made you gravitate towards some of the tributes that you're doing now and some of the exciting projects you work with?
Tributes actually happened not by accident, but just kind of naturally went into it through Music Zirconia, which were two partners that I personally were friends with.
Nice. Well, that's all. We're going to have a whole segment about each of these with
yes.
Magnetron and Zirconia.
Yes, we are.
But I wanted to start off with you because for anybody who doesn't know your name, and here in San Diego, they ought to. It's really important. There's so many things going on. I think everybody here has had, we've had some tribute artists from Thunder Road and Kissed Alive, and we've had original artists here from, the top artists from our San Diego Music Awards. But this is our chance to get behind the scenes and let everybody know what they can do to be a part of what you do. And so I think that having them know that you're also a musician is a big deal. So I know you're also in a tribute or a band yourself. Yes, you play.
Just recently in the last year, I decided to start playing music again because I kind of stepped away from it and was more engineering or touring with bands as a sound engineer. And I was doing sound for a Green Day tribute, and the singer was amazing, but their side guitar player just caught my eye, looked like this guy from Muse. And I was like, oh, you should do a Muse tribute. And he's like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. But, months and months later, I jammed with a bass player who's playing Muse, which is really hard to do. And I was like, oh, I know a singer who actually would be amazing. And he's like, oh, we should get together. And several more months went by. So it was like from summertime all the way into January before we actually played. First time we played, we went through probably 6 or 8 songs, which is really hard to do when I didn't even know half their songs.
And you were picking up pretty much where you left off from a little while ago. That's very brave as well.
So it's been really fun, but I'm doing it for fun. A lot of people are doing it as a career or financial gain, but I'm just doing it for fun. And there is some financial aspects to it that are in play right now too.
Well, that's a really, it comes to an interesting partake with that because I know For my aspect of the business, I usually tell the people I work with, it better have an emotional or financial payoff, because if it doesn't have one or the other, what the hell are you doing?
I'm all about both.
Yeah, getting
I'm
both
selfish.
is the ideal,
I'm
right?
selfish.
If you can get both, that's
the biz.
That's the happy
Exactly.
place, right? But for you, when you went from, what made you decide, I'm going to stop being, playing drums a lot and go right into, being on that technical side, and that intrigued you and you thought you had a knack for it?
So, going way back, we're talking about in the 90s now. I was in kind of the pop punk movement that was happening, and Blink-182 was just doing so well, and everyone wanted to be the next Blink-182. And I was into that, but I was into other kind of music too. And so the absolute last band that I toured with and were signed to a label, kinda, was a band called I Own the Secrets.
Nice.
And it was a singer that him and I started bands way back in the early 90s called Quick Shifter. We were playing with all those bands back in San Diego. And so, yeah, I just kind of, that was like the last of the last with the record labels and the putting out records and the touring, and I was just kind of done.
Oh, fried.
At some point, you literally are done. You're done with personalities. You're done with people's requests. You're done with just touring. Like that, all that stuff at some point does come to an end, but I still love touring. Mm-hmm. So I went to school for engineering. I got gigs through friends and were just already kind of tapped in, so I found it kind of easy to get gigs over a lot of other people. And I just toured for years and years and years and years. I'd come back to San Diego for a couple of weeks.
What was your first link into getting some professional engineering and sound tech management positions where you were taking charge and where you earned a reputation to make things work?
I think the first interaction where I was actually a part of something was the local band here, POD. My first day on internship was their first day at their first record that's on a national label. So it was like, that was my first day of meeting them. And to this day, I still talk to them, friends with them, keep in touch with them a little bit on Facebook. I even introduced them to a group called ICP from Detroit, which we'll get into that. And they're on tour with them now because I introduced them years ago.
Networking.
And they play in San Diego, and it's canceled. I go down there. I'm like, all excited to see them. I haven't seen either one in years. And it's canceled. I'm like, really? Like, how does that happen? Yeah.
Oh, something's got to change.
Exactly.
I think maybe Tracy, you've got to make that happen.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Out here.
Well, I mean, we're all friends with POD here at the station. We're going to be
Such
doing
good
some work
people.
with them. Yeah,
Such
so
good people.
got a couple of them on my friends list. So hey, guys, shout out.
I know, and San Diego Music Awards always on that
That's
list
right.
as well.
That's right.
I think it's so important that we cover that with you, because often you have people who are on the technical side who haven't had the players' experience, and we've all seen stages where we've had people making looks like baseball code to relay information and get it right, and I always say sound tech. I think everybody who works with me has heard me say it's a black art. So if you have someone
It's
who's good at
also,
it,
there's an aspect to it that's changing with the females. There are a lot of females. I would prefer a female if I had a choice. Just some of them have been so amazing. So, yeah, even going to school, there was like one female in our entire school. And we're talking like 10 different classes for audio engineering. So I kind of like that. Even there's amazing, huge records, like Tool's first major label was a female. Like, a lot of people don't know there's females that kind of like get overlooked, or they say, oh, can you get me coffee? It's like, no, I'm running the show tonight.
she's the manager. That's I love
like
hearing
it.
that from a gentleman too, because there are women often in the scene. So why do you think that is? This is you're someone who's gone through the education
Oh, it's
process.
a bro thing. No, I'll
Yeah.
tell you exactly.
Yeah.
It's a bro thing. Working in the industry and being a sound engineer at several different clubs over the years, bros talk and they lift gear and they're, big, rough, and tough. And a female just doesn't fit into that, even though there's females that will totally lift more and do way more than I ever will. But that's what it is. It's a bro thing.
Well, we were talking about that. We had Ronnie Lee on the other day, and we've had some really great sponsored and endorsed
lot of
artists.
female artists, yeah.
And they'll talk about how somebody will come over and touch their dials, touch their knobs.
Or knobs, yeah. That's
We're waiting
Ronnie's
for that.
line. Don't touch my knobs.
touch my knobs,
She's
man.
so cool. I love her.
And it is, I think, a big part of. It's nice that you identify with it. So you're looking
100%.
to dose and work with women in the industry more. Do you think that's changing now?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, just rock music in general, pop music, country music. Females are getting way bigger, having way more pull, doing way more, going further. All of that has to do with males giving up something. I mean, we're looking at getting a female president soon, possibly.
Oh, my.
She's got my vote. She's got my vote.
Me too.
But yeah, I mean, change has to happen, and males are going to agree with it, or they're going to fight it until they have no option but to give in, and then they realize, oh, we should have done that a long time ago.
Well, and bypassing so much talent, that's
I cannot
out there.
tell you how much. Yeah. I mean, some of the best bands I toured with had females on the bus, and I'll tell you that there's like a night and day difference between a bunch of dudes with socks and smelly whatever, and it's just like, and then you got the female who's like spraying spritzers and like cleaning, and like cleaning, like, and so you'll literally see generically, I use that word a lot, but you'll see generically how they will have a female at least doing merch or doing management, tour management, if not, now they're even doing engineering and stuff. So it is kind of funny that like you will see that, and
it makes a difference.
There's been some absolutely amazing tours that I've done that was all because of my favorite tour of all time. There was a band, I don't know if you've heard of the Deftones, but they have a side project called Team Sleep. That's been my favorite band to tour with, and there was a female that was on tour with us, and she's actually passed away after that tour, but long story short, she was just the most fun, enjoyable person to hang with.
Gosh, what a great first segment. We're going into... here we are with Rodney Elliot. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about his work with Music Zirconia.
Yep.
And some of the tribute, controversy, and excitement going into the new age.
All right.
Tributes.
Just hang out for 3 minutes. We'll be back. WSRadio.com is the world leader in Internet talk.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Talk to me. Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Moe's Guitars is the proud sponsor of Girls Talk Rock. Over 35 years of helping girls and guys rock. Moe's Guitars, M-O-Z-E, guitars.com.
Welcome to Girls Talk Rock, where the musician's creativity finds its voice. And here are your hosts, Tracy Smith and Beth Venus.
All right, Bethy, I think we're back with Rodney Elliot.
You're so lucky tonight.
The trifecta.
He is the trifecta, and we were just discussing at the before the break that he's been on tour and he's played as a musician and of course is educated as an engineer, and he has a lot of parts of his career that we're going to discuss. But in this round, we really wanted to discuss about what is your role over at Music Zirconia. Tell us about that.
It's evolved and changed a little bit. It started when I originally got hired just to be a manager of an office. And as both the owners are there more, the managerial role of the office has changed. And now I'm mostly manager of the facility, which is Magnetron. And it's because that entire aspect has evolved too. We moved out of the recording studio and actually moved into offices and have full-on, access to everything on the internet and people on phones, and you couldn't really do that in one little space outside the recording studio. So now the recording studio is just the recording studio, and then we built a rehearsal hall so that bands can also rehearse because we have over 1,000 bands that we're working with.
Well, that's what was going to be my next question, was the impetus to do Magnetron Studios out of doing press kits or needing to record more for the bands that were under your management, or was it driven elsewhere?
The two owners definitely want to always help bands as much as they can.
Right.
So that, I think, was a part of it. It was also, when we were moving into the new office, we were trying to think of, do we just want to hire a bunch more employees and have more office space, or are we able to work within what we already have, and then we'll just build out a couple rehearsal rooms? Because a lot of bands wanted to rehearse at the recording studio, which you kind of want to record at a recording studio and then rehearse at a rehearsal room.
Yeah, it gets beat up.
So, exactly. Yeah. So I had a couple connects with Personas and QSC, and they were on board, and we got amazing gear that were flying speakers, and we have digital boards, so when bands come in, they can recall their scene, and it sounds exactly the way they did the last time they played there. And
that's neat.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to have, we call it high-end rehearsal suites instead of just band rehearsal rooms.
Jam sessions.
Yeah.
So what I was curious about was, what criteria do you use when you're determining what kind of bands to work with as far as Music Zirconia? Do they have to meet a certain level of expertise, or what do you do with that?
Most definitely. There are so many, like, just for instance, there's like 20 or 30 Journey bands, or,
God bless them.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac or whatever. They want to go after the one that they can sell.
Sure.
Do they want to sell a Beatles that's in their 50s and 60s? They're probably great musicians. They're probably, super nice people. Or do they want to sell a Beatles that are in their 20s and 30s and look like the Beatles in all the pictures that we see in what
like
you remember?
Like in their heyday, like you remember.
Exactly. So if they can ever sell a band, or I should say we, because I'm selling the bands too, we want to sell bands that are the most attractive to a client, which would be a casino or a nightclub or a corporate event.
Or venue stage.
You got it.
So, and that brings up an interesting part, because I know that we've seen great tributes, come and go in and out of town. And some are, we call them wig bands, right? Where, that's the whole 9 yards.
Sure.
And then other bands, I know there's a great Led Zeppelin band. DSB is a great tribute to Journey, speaking of, that, don't dress up at all. They just sound really good.
Yep, yeah. That's their drummer. I've spoke to a lot about that, and he says that they look more like Journey does now, but most people aren't interested in Journey now.
Right.
They're interested in the white jacket with the long hair and the Steve Perry. They don't want the Asian guy with the accent. Like, they're going after a different aspect. And then you have a Led Zeppelin that's a new, we start working with a new Zeppelin band, and they call it Zeppelin USA, and they're going after more of a new look, but they sound amazing.
They're
they
amazing,
have lasers,
yes.
So
That
you have
vocalist is
Zeppegan.
outrageously good.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Zeppegan, that's been around forever, but they're older now, and it's showing, and people are commenting negatively about them. So we're just going after fresh, new, whatever we think we can sell or that will look the most attractive to.
That leads me into my next question, which
Sure.
I wanted to ask about artist development. Does MZ actually do artist development, or do you get
100%.
into that? Okay, so what do you do for the acts that come in for that?
For instance, this is, and you guys haven't heard of this yet because they just brand new. But there's a lot of newer bands, like the whole Muse thing that I'm doing. That's a new band. There's a Killers tribute, which you wouldn't think they would, why they're still around, but they only come around once a year. So the rest of the time, the tributes do well. And so we have a couple guys that work in the studio, and they were doing a B-52s tribute, and they said, hey, we're thinking of doing a Coldplay if you ever know a singer. I was like, actually, I kind of do.
Yeah.
So I called the guy Mike, and I said, Mike, they're interested in doing a Coldplay. And he said, oh, my God, that'd be amazing. They hit it off as friends and just dug each other, jammed on a couple songs. And so we're actually doing a couple shows with them coming up soon.
God, it happens fast, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's very fast. But when bands gel, they just do really, really well together. If there's always a member that has issues, and it drags the whole band down. But, we help do their video. We help do their tracks. We'll help them with costume. We'll help them with promotion.
Stage presence.
Everything.
All that stuff.
Everything.
Now, how do you feel about some of the companies, and maybe you guys are doing this too? It's a lot of chat in my arena of the world. Some of we call them karaoke bands, bands that are maybe 50% live and 50% with tracks. You've probably seen some of these.
I am one of those.
Are you one of
Actually,
those?
Muse, because if you go see Muse, they have 7 and 8 and 10 bar harmonies. And it sounds like Queen.
Like Queen, right.
And you're
yeah.
like, but there's 3 people on stage, and one of them aren't even singing. And so how,
And there's no keyboardist.
But I had my elbows on the stage watching their shows when they've performed the last few. And you can hear click tracks, and they played, flawlessly to video, and everything is synced, and there's tracks all day long. So we actually went in and recorded all the tracks ourselves.
Oh, that's
and
impressive.
Every single thing that you see is us. Even the video we have, and we have a video that we downloaded from Muse.
Right.
So we're playing the Muse video that they would play when they play stadiums.
Now
So
that's a real show.
we're trying. We
Trying
built
so
a
hard.
light show so that there's lights going on at different ports. We don't have a lighting guy. It's just all done with computers. I mean, we're trying to do as much as we can. I'm really only, and I hate saying this on the radio, but I can because I'm on the radio and no one can see me. But I'm like the shaggiest one because the singer literally looks, it's scary.
Delicious,
He looks
yeah.
he looks exactly like Matt Bellamy. And then our bass player looks very similar to the bass player. So I'm the one who's not, the guy's like 80 pounds and has blonde hair. It's like, that ain't going to
But
happen.
you're going for a very specific sound, and I'm glad you brought that up with Muse because, like Queen, and, all these parts, and you've got some technology that's enabling that.
And that's why that was my interest.
That's what I say as an engineer.
Yeah.
Now, some bands go out there and it's just like a disco band, or it's
Right.
just a.
They're called cover bands. The difference
Right.
between a tribute and a cover. A tribute is tribute just to that one specific artist. Cover is like they'll just do a genre of 80s or 90s or
Right.
whatever.
I totally get that, but my issue is that sometimes a cover band will cover like a genre, right? And it's. I wonder, is that the direction it's going, where live bands are going to be competing with a 3-piece with 50% tracks? Do you think that's direction live music is going now?
Yes and no. There's a part of the rawness and the coolness of people that are playing their actual instruments compared to just singing to a track or, having dancers and, all of a sudden you touch the mic and it's not even on. You're like, really? But I did tour with, I don't know if you guys have heard of Tayo Cruz from England, but he was a huge pop artist and had a couple hit songs, and he had tons of tracks,
Right.
but he also had an amazing band behind him.
He did the combination.
Yeah.
He did
So
both.
the combination is very normal.
Right.
When you go up to Center Staging or SIR and you sit in and you watch the bands doing their huge production, some of the biggest bands out there, there's tracks going, there's click going. All this has to happen in order to make a show. A show is different than, like, I would love to just jam and like not have click and not wear earphones, and all that's fun. But when you're performing, you're putting on a show.
And what a difference between a show and even a casino
costumes.
lounge act
You
or
got it.
an event. And
So, I would be curious then if I'm, say, one of the fans in the audience, what happens when that click stops or that track
like our
stops.
last show. Yeah.
Or like whatever. I mean,
it happens.
And then they're standing there going, wait a second,
Nope.
what is...
Do not stop. So the first song, or the first time it happened. Yes. The first time it happened.
Don't stop believing.
Yeah, exactly. The first time it happened, we stopped playing and we talked on the mic. Oh, sorry, our computer died and we're horrible. And, everyone was just like, what's going on? So now, this last show, our computer, we have too much going on it. Yeah. So it's just bogged down, we think. And it stopped, and I just kept going. And I look over, and they started to stop, and they were like, oh, wait, we're going to keep going.
We're going to own this, yeah.
And I know the songs. I'm just, I don't have the click. But we just finished the song.
Just little cleaner.
Half the people in the audience didn't notice. There's, like, backing tracks and little synthy things, whatever. And do they notice it? Not as much as if we would have stopped.
I think that's so interesting because and I think our listeners who are musicians out there, and we have most of our listeners are musicians or fans, they want to know, these type of issues because I think playing live, I'm a big supporter of live music, but I do think there's a time and place for everything. And so it's interesting to see what the big management companies and recording studios are doing and what's legitimate and the direction music is going in San Diego and throughout the industry.
Well, having tracks or having a click or having specific things that are going off at certain times is turning easier technology-wise where we're building, tens of thousands of dollars of gear for hundreds because, technology is getting better.
It allows it so easily.
Correct.
You hear that, folks? Technology is your friend and your foe.
Yeah, it can work both ways. So there we go. All right, well, when we come back, we're going to talk to him all about the Magnetron Studios and if the Music Zirconia artists use it, all about networking, all that kind of
How to
good
get
stuff.
a job.
So, yeah, there you go. Networking. That's all it's all about. We'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
Moe's Guitars is the proud sponsor of Girls Talk Rock. Over 35 years of helping girls and guys rock. Moe's Guitars, M-O-Z-E, guitars.com.
Welcome to Girls Talk Rock, where the musician's creativity finds its voice. And here are your hosts, Tracy Smith and Beth Venus.
Okay, we're back. I'm actually trying to use Periscope Live while we're doing our show, and I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but we're going to try it. Anyway, so we're back with Rodney Elliot. Take it over, Beth.
Oh, well, we're just so happy to have you. And I know I keep saying that, but I think getting our lip in with you is just so important. You were talking about how Music Zirconia was the home base, and then it went into Megatron Studios. Yes?
Well, it was a recording studio, and they took it over from another client, and then had the agency inside the studio. And as the agency got bigger, they moved the agency over a building and just kept the studio, so it's separate now.
Well, that's it's convenient, but it really brings us around full circle. And anybody starts a business or does what they do, to the heart of Magnetron Studios, what is their purpose? Is it for they love music, obviously, and being part of the artist development. But that's just how they just chose to do it, through having their own studio and creating.
The one owner owns a ton of gear, and I own a ton of gear, so we just kind of
smashed it together.
It made sense.
It was serendipitously happened.
And they could have just moved into an office, but why just move in an office if you can have a recording studio too? You know what I mean?
More cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And make it relevant. Do you have a lot of artists come to you who are original artists who are seeking out to get that first album made?
Oh, most definitely. We've done several albums already. There's the Fighting Able, which I'll definitely have them on your show. They were amazing. They just did their record there. Truth the Brainchild, which is now called Josh Rowe, I think his name. He is an amazing rap artist or hip-hop artist. We've had tons. Even today, we just did our TV show there. So.
I know our audience should know that.
Well, yeah, WS Radio shot an episode of the K-Flow show with Kevin Floney and Rebecca Jade, and we had some amazing artists on. What's his name? Dozier? Yeah.
You're so good.
I can't think right now. I'm sick. So
Tracy is having she needs fuel.
I do. I haven't eaten all day. Here we go.
But having it's a different beast, and I've talked about having a business in a different branch of the tree. Do you run it like it's two kind of separate businesses?
Most definitely. That's why my position has kind of changed.
Yeah.
And I've given way more time to the recording studio and the rehearsal rooms. And I mean, it's just going really, really well. A lot of people, how do you get people into your studio? Well, we kind of already had them.
Sure.
We just want to have them keep coming back, and we want to get new ones. And so it's working out really, really well now that I'm able to do that.
And that's where your love is.
It's definitely where my love is.
Now, are most of your artists who are there, are they there looking for a lockout originally, and then you say, no, come in and play, and you don't need all that?
We have people calling a lot and say, do you do lockouts? And because we have brand new drum sets in each room, brand new guitar amps in each room, all the, mixers are all digital. You can just save it, and the next time you walk in the door, you just recall your band and you're there. So we don't need to do lockouts because you'd lose money. If someone does a lockout, then only they are going to be in that room. We can have, hundreds of bands in there within the one time that one band and make way more money, which is a part of why they want to do this. They're definitely out to help bands, but they're not into doing it all for free, even though a lot of it is.
You got to make it business. Well, and having that plug and play experience is really important. I think, you tell a band to come in, they get to rehearse. Maybe they bring their own pedal. Or they may be bringing their crashes, whatever you want them doing, their snare, a few of their gears, their head, maybe for their bass rig.
Right.
But having artists get used to using other equipment is really important as well, too, because I know you probably just work with a plethora of really psycho musicians who insist on.
That's the fun of it, though. I think that's why we do it.
Excellent.
We have bands come in and don't have any clue how to work their own gear, or they aren't able to get the sounds they're looking for. I mean, that's a major part of the fun for me. I have a great time working with some of the artists. But there's also a lot of them that are just great musicians. As we were talking about earlier with having good tribute bands, is they're usually already an established,
pretty solid already doing their thing.
Amazing musician way before the tributes. They're like, maybe I can make money doing this now.
I think that's been my experience with working with them.
I was just curious about some of the bands that come into your studio to record. Now, do you ever bring in, say, people that are there all the time that help out with, say, union musicians or that type of thing?
We have such a plethora of musicians and people to call. We don't really have any issues with it. We haven't had a lot of need anyways. Most people that come in already have their people, but working with Florentino and a few others, I mean, I'm sure we'll have that need at some point possibly, needing a horn section or needing, someone to play the cajon or, something different than the normal. But most bands are already established and they're just there to track.
And now, do you do EPKs and that type of thing for the bands as well, or where does it stop?
We help with. I think, that's where we start to, say, okay, this band, if they can't do that, then they shouldn't be playing, or, the idea is we're trying to help bands sell.
Okay.
Why aren't people booking my band? Well, maybe because you don't have a video or a picture, and your music is from an iPhone. It sounds really bad, and you're wanting, someone to buy you. Well, then make a great photo shoot, make a video that is sellable, that, is going to impress the client, and then, track some great songs of you guys playing live and, film it. Like, technology's so there that for a band to complain or say, I can't, then they shouldn't be doing it, because iPhones and, new technology is so there. You can do everything. It's
so amazing.
Yeah.
And I think this is a recurring common denominator we have with
on
a lot of our guests is trying to get, and this goes for original artists as well as tribute and cover and everything in between.
Artists too, same.
I think they all think there's going to be a magic wand of someone's just going to notice their amazing talent, and you're just all of a sudden going to float through a great queue or rotation of shows.
Talking about that, I used to for 10 years, I did concerts at South by Southwest. So it wasn't a South by Southwest concert. It was during South by Southwest, I would put on shows with a couple of partners, and it was called Texas Rock Fest. So we were doing stages with hundreds of bands during South by Southwest. This was way before South by Southwest turned into all South by Southwest is now is they have bands going there and showcasing for labels.
Right, in different little clubs along the way.
You're never going to go there and get signed to a local, because there's no bands that, maybe randomly you might get lucky, but most bands going there are already signed and they're playing showcases for all their party, record label people there. And it kind of took away the coolness of it. I haven't gone in years because it just kind of, it inflated to me. It was, you shouldn't have to wait hours and hours and hours to see a band play one song.
Well, yeah, and when it comes to signing, do you even see bands getting signed anymore? Because it's a much different music industry.
Signing isn't necessarily something that bands are doing that are new. If it's an established band like POD or Deftones, they're going to sign a record deal because they're already established and they know that the record's going to sell. If a new artist is coming out, the best way for them to make money is tour, try to get their song on a commercial or, in a video or something on YouTube and, get noticed. And, there's so many options of helping get out there, but financially there's no, record $350,000 record deal, and the bands are all gonna, do great. That doesn't exist. Most record labels aren't putting up money like there. They maybe will give you $10,000 to just see what you're gonna do.
They want you to be a sure thing.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Right. Which is, it's an interesting place you're in because you're a juxtapoint with cover, original, and tribute. And we talked about the use of tracks when it makes sense, and sometimes maybe it doesn't make sense.
You have to know your audience.
You have to really know your audience, and also
your venue.
Who you are and what you want to get done and what you want to sell.
Right.
But how often do you see that with original artists, where they're relying on that in their showcase or trying to tell, make that?
Well, with the really high-end artists, like when I toured with Tayo Cruz, that was 100% track. I mean, he was, he walked in the studio and it sounded exactly like his record, and everyone just played along to the tracks. Wow. And, we did all the talk shows. It was Regis and Kelly back then, and, all of them. And, we showed up. I even remember Cyndi Lauper in the hallway. She comes up to me and she goes, "Hi, doll. Who is this band playing? They sound amazing." I'm not going to tell 90% of it's track. It's really not. He didn't even sing the last song.
Do you think that's numbed the ears of our listeners, that they don't recognize or appreciate genuine live music anymore?
No, I mean, live music has just evolved. I mean, there's live DJs.
Right.
The Skrillex guy, when I toured with Team Sleep, Skrillex was the opener, but he was just called Sonny. And we called him Elvira because he had the hair, and we used to mess with him on the bus and stuff. And, and now he's like the biggest of all time for DJing, and he's like huge and making all. We just thought it sounded like robots having sex, and we would all laugh, and it was just weird. It didn't make sense. Music? And it wasn't a real beat or anything. It was just kind of random. And now it's turned into a thing. So,
all right, cool. We got like 10 seconds left. So I think what we're going to do is when we come back from the commercial break, we're going to talk to Rodney all about branding, both Magnetron, Music Zirconia, and his own bands and his own things that he needs to brand. And we're just going to talk about all that when we get back.
And how our artists can do the same thing.
Yes.
Learn from him.
Because it's very important to brand yourself, as we all know.
Important.
So thank you, WSRadio.com, a worldwide leader in Internet talk, for having our show, Girls Talk Rock. And we'll be back in 3 minutes. Hang tight.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Moe's Guitars is the proud sponsor of Girls Talk Rock. Over 35 years of helping girls and guys rock. Moe's Guitars, M-O-Z-E, guitars.com.
Welcome to Girls Talk Rock, where the musician's creativity finds its voice. And here are your hosts, Tracy Smith and Beth Venus.
All right, we are back. We are back in segment number 4 with Rodney. Boy, this show just goes so fast. Beth has got something that is really important to her and to her friends. She's going to give a shout out.
I need to give a shout out right now that my good friends at Salon Paradigm are having a cut-a-thon this Sunday, December 6th. It's in particular, to their hearts because their CEO, Don Bewley, just passed unexpectedly, and this is in his honor. So you want to get your hair cut, you want to raise some money for Child Help, which is, in helping the prevention and treatment of child abuse. Go on down to Vista, to Salon Paradigm. It's right off El Camino Real in Encinitas, California, and get your hair cut this Sunday between 10 and 3, and you're going to look good, and you're going to really help a great cause, and it'll be all in the name of their CEO who passed way too early, Mr. Don Bewley. So we had to want to get people out in his honor. That's
all right,
really
that's
a big
amazing. Let's ask Rodney really quick about give us some links and some shout outs and stuff before we start this segment so we can get that in for sure.
Sure. So magnetronstudios.com. That would be our rehearsal rooms, our recording studio, and our live sound company that we didn't talk about a little either. And then mztributebands.com. That is the website for Music Zirconia.
And they have a great spot on the Music Zirconia site of if you're a listener and you're like, I want to do that. Why aren't I doing that? I need to work with them. I need to get some work. They actually have a whole list of the kind of bands they're looking for and the kind of talent they're need, which I would recommend is a good place to start.
Yes.
And we don't even say we need, it's what our clients have asked for that
right,
we don't
right.
have.
The client's everything. So
exactly.
That's what I just encourage, maybe not the 27th of the same tribute out there. There's a lot out. You better be damn good.
That is another reason why I did the Muse thing.
Yeah, because there's not much out there for that.
There is one or two other ones, and they're all in Italy, which is random.
Awesome.
Not worrying about it.
One less thing. They have to cross an ocean, a very big one.
Yeah, exactly.
So coming back into this segment, I wanted to ask, since you work with so many bands, so many musicians, do you take care of any of the logistics, or do you let the bands take care of that hotel?
I try to take care of 99% of it because most bands, you just want them to be a musician, just show up and play.
Yeah.
So a lot of the bigger bands are used to, and they want is there backline? That way they don't have to bring anything. What time is there food involved? Do we have hotels? Is there, the flights? And I mean, that's starting to get a little rock star, but not really. I mean, that's just being professional.
A little rock star.
Well, and knowing
Crazy.
when you're coming and going is a really big deal.
And we got to do so many flights that now we're actually our own agency for doing flights too.
Wow. Discount with Expedia,
yes,
right?
we are an Expedia travel agency.
I love it.
Because we did so many.
That's where it is. And that's another great reason for really great artists to want to work with you.
Well, that's what made it so natural for me coming on too, is I just take every aspect of the booking. I don't just book a band and say, just show up at the club. Right. I ask them for their stage plot, their input list, all the band members, if they have people coming to the show or, people on the list.
All the details.
And then we do their flights, and then we find out if there's special meals. And, we just try to do every aspect. Even calling and, ordering backline, there's nothing I'm not familiar with because I had to do that touring with bands. So it just everything came really natural.
Like a wedding planner, but in the music
I
industry.
did the whole wedding planner. I did that too. I'm so sorry.
It's fabulous, everybody.
I meant it.
This really brings me to another question. I know our listeners are thinking, and
we get to thank the listeners for even listening. Like,
right? That's right.
I can't believe even people cared about my stories or anything I have to say.
They do, because this industry is so
it's changing.
unique.
It's changing.
And it's so changing. And
I'm all about helping, and that's probably it's a positive, but it also could be a negative. Sometimes bands or people are only about what can you do for them, and I've learned that you get nowhere. So any listeners out there, just know that if all you do is ask for something for yourself,
for me,
it will literally get you nowhere, no matter how good you are.
That's
it's all about how you can work with others.
I love hearing that. No matter how good you are, you hear that, folks? Because I think I hear about, and Connor can attest to this. He works over at the studio as well. I think I hear about how amazing somebody is every day. And I'm not very easily impressed because I hear that so often.
And it might get a little tired.
It gets a little tiresome.
And if they're not amazing.
Right. And what if they're not? They're in their own world. They are.
Everybody thinks they are, but you know.
But the kicker
I'll be the
is
last
this.
person to ever say that. I am like embarrassed. I'm just like, you're an amazing drummer. Oh my God. Because I also play guitar. And they're like, you're an amazing guitar player. Oh, you're a great singer. I'm like, yeah, no.
No, in this world. But what do we tell the artist who maybe is a union musician or maybe is a session player, does have some experience, isn't just fresh out of the garage, and they want to be in touch with you over at Music Zirconia and Magnetron Studios to maybe be a session player or get on your radar to be a possible player in upcoming projects? What's the best route for them to take?
They can email. The best way, the first thing which you've talked about earlier, go on the website and they'll actually get to see what bands that we're still needing.
Yeah, looking.
Where people are calling and asking for Katy Perry and we don't have one. People are asking for Pink. We don't have one. So there's just different bands that if they're looking to start one, instead of starting one that's already existing, look at ones that are needed that clients are calling us and asking for. We will help you get work a lot quicker. Being professional, if anyone wants to work with us, have a great video, have a great photo, have some great audio, and just, be cool. A lot of bands think that because they're working with us, we're just going to get them tons of work. But we have 1,000 bands.
That's a lot to work with.
And out of, I think we were like 12 or 1,600 now. And maybe a handful get work regularly, but we don't book the band. The client does. We just give the client what they need. A client will call and say, we're looking for Bee Gees. We'll give them Bee Gees. They're looking for Elton. We'll give them the most amazing Elton ever.
Right.
But we don't call and say, yes, you really should use Slipknot. Or like, your senior center is going to love Slipknot. They're going to be great. That
Now, but do you guys have also, you have a great gig coming up, and our session's getting short already. But we have a great, say you have, they have a great mini tour coming up of 4 or 5 shows going up and down the state, and your bass player comes down with the flu. Do you guys always have like a backup for that person? Or
most of the bigger bands, like Elton has 3 different bands that he uses.
Pulls from, yeah. And they're
because
ready to
his
go.
band is also his regular band is also the Who.
Right.
They're also Kiss. So his band, his members of his band are actually in other bands.
Absolutely.
So
that's that network you're talking about.
You got it. And that's exactly, I looked at Music Zirconia not just as an agency. That's the bread and butter, and that's where we are and what we are. But it also is a network.
A network. That's why I think if you're a working studio, you have to be.
You got it.
Because people rely on that more than anything else.
And of course, now we're down to the last minute of our show.
How can that be?
Which has been an amazing show with Rodney
I didn't
Elliot.
even plug my show yet.
It's time.
But so Beth and I have this thing at the end of every session, as you know, we call Quattro questions. We ask everybody that comes on 4 separate questions. So Beth, do you want to start with the first question?
I am. I'm going to first mention that they all have to go to the House of Blues this Friday.
That's right.
And see Damage.
That's right.
It's so important. Can I say Inc. or Incorporated?
Damage Inc. is Metallica tribute. And they're
my
the
gosh.
most amazing.
Does it sound
and
delicious?
There's also a Muse tribute along with them and everything. So you got to
go
get
this
out
Friday
there.
if you want.
AC/DC.
Oh my gosh, you guys want to have some fun? See what the real deal is? You guys give us a call here at the
Okay, 30
studio.
seconds. Here goes the Quattro questions. If you were any department store, what department store are you?
Toy store.
Toys R
FAO
Us?
Schwartz.
I love it. A toy store. If you could be in any band in history, which one are you?
Elton John for sure.
Oh, I love it.
All right. So if you're any tourist attraction in the world, what are you?
If I was any tourist attraction in the world, oh, that's so random.
I know. Who
the
are
Eiffel
you?
Tower. I no idea.
And any TV show in history, what would represent you best?
Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
I love it. Okay, you guys heard it. Hey, if anybody
man.
wants to we're going to have
Free tickets.
some free tickets, you guys.
of them.
You have to call WS Radio. You have to say Girls Talk
Free.
Rock, and you have to say Rodney Elliot to know that we have some tickets free that we can leave for you at Will Call. Don't forget.
And thank you, WSRadio.com, the worldwide leader in Internet talk, for having Girls Talk Rock. And thank you, Rodney Elliot.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.